Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another session of Cosmic Convos. This is Cassie here with Cosmic Cassie, and today I wanted to talk about finding power in making decisions. This is going to be a twofold kind of topic here. In the lower right hand corner, you can see cosmiccassie.com is my website if you ever want a personal reading with me. I also included my email address in there, so if you ever have a topic that you kind of want me to have a short convo on, go ahead and email it to me or leave it in the comments, and I will try my best to make sure we talk about it. All right, let's get into it. So, there's two things that I wanted to talk about when it comes to decisions that I think impacts a lot of the clients that I see as well as myself. And the first one is having the power to make the decision itself. And the second thing is also having the power to accept decisions made by other people. So, the first part of that with finding power and making decisions is I see a lot of times that we get kind of anxious when it comes to having to make a decision if we have multiple choices or if it's something that we're not really sure we should do. We have a lot of confusion. Sometimes we go looking for other people's opinions and thoughts. We rely on tarot, we rely on opinions, things like this. So I wanted to just talk really quick about how to find the power in making decisions. One of the things that I tell all my clients is that it's a liberation when you have to make a decision because that means that you have a choice that you have to make. And when you have choices, that is a way of having freedom. That is a way of exercising your free will, your birthright to have freedom. And a lot of times people don't have that liberation. They don't have that ability to make a choice given the situation. So when you are faced with a lot of choices, even if it's just two, being able to make a decision is a form of strength. It's a form of power. It's you being able to take control of your life. And sometimes not making that decision, allowing someone else to make it, it's also you making a choice. You're making the choice to give up your power, to give it away to someone else. So even if you're on the receiving end of someone's choice, their decision that they've made, there's an opportunity for you to decide what direction you're going to go in. Either you go along with that person, you take a different route, you create a whole different idea of what could happen. There's always a personal power and freedom that can be gained when you have to make decisions. And the way that I tell my clients the best way to make these decisions is by tuning into yourself first. Don't worry about the consequences of other people, of how they're going to feel. Don't worry about the future because that is so undefined and it's difficult to make decisions in the present moment based on the future when you have no idea what the future holds. So there's kind of a routine that you can take when you're feeling overcome or overwhelmed by making a decision. And that is to really take a time out, make sure that you release all the emotions. If you need to meditate, if you need to just take a quiet time, a quiet space, even if you need to journal beforehand just to get all the emotions out, get all that energy released, and then come back to yourself and go through the senses. How do I feel? What do I smell? What do I feel in my body? Is my body reacting to something? Am I having pains? Am I being confused? Am I anxious? Okay, if I'm anxious, if I'm sad, if I'm angry, if I'm having these emotions, why do I feel these emotions? And kind of allow yourself to explore why you're feeling the anxiety, why you're feeling the energy of being overwhelmed, of being confused. And once you kind of explore that, it makes it a lot easier to understand why there's fear behind making the decision, why there's apprehension, hesitation. And that way you can move through not just the logical piece of yourself, but the emotional piece. And it's really important that when you make a decision, it comes from the heart and the mind, because when you make an incoherent decision where you're not synchronizing the mind and the heart, that's when we regret it. That's when we have anxieties about it. That's when we go back and forth. We want to withdraw the decision. We want to not move forward with it. And a part of this conversation that I wanted to bring up is there's power behind decisions because you can always make new ones. Just because you decide on something today doesn't mean that has to be your reality for the rest of your life. It's human nature to go through experiences, to go through emotions and cycles. And at any given chance in time, if you transform, if you evolve, if you come into a realization, if you heal something, sometimes the decision that you made in the past when you were that old person, even if it was 2, 3 days ago, a week ago, a month ago, that decision does not align with who you are in this present moment anymore. And there is absolutely nothing wrong with taking a new decision and going in a new direction. You can always change. You can always shift out of the previous choices you've already made. You're not tied to your past. And that's the beautiful thing about this life. And that is the liberation of choice, because you don't always have to do what you've always done. You can change it at any moment. And when you're faced with making a decision, it gives you an opportunity to show up in a different way, to change your life, to change who you are, to change your circumstances. Now, the second piece of this is accepting when other people also have that freedom to make decisions. It's really difficult when someone makes a decision that impacts us or that we're not aligned with, that we feel maybe we're losing something or it's not going to go well for us because this person made a different decision than what we wanted them to. And once you learn the liberation and the understanding, the deep understanding of how that is a part of human nature and that's our birthright, that's a part of our ability to really transform our reality, is by making different choices all the time, and those decisions that come with it. That's when we begin to not just respect, but appreciate someone else's decision, even if it doesn't feel like it's good for us. Because no matter what someone else decides, no matter what someone else's choices are, no matter what direction they go down, no matter if they choose to be with you, if they choose to go against you, if they choose to forget you, it doesn't really matter what the decision is that they're making. The point is, you are not trapped by someone else's decisions. It may change the outcome of what you wanted. It may change the choices that you have to make. It may change the opportunities that are in front of you, but it never, ever, ever will take away your freedom to make your own decisions, to make your own choices, because no one can take that away except for you. And the only way you take it away from yourself is by giving that power to someone else to decide what kind of life you're going to live, what direction you're going to go in, what choices you're going to make. That's no one else's power but your own. So even when you feel trapped in a corner, even when you feel like you can't change the situation, like you can't move someone else's decision in a direction that you want it to go into, that is their freedom and liberation to make that decision that they've made. And you have to give them the respect to make that, to have their freedom, to exercise their freedom. And on the other hand, you now get to exercise your freedom by choosing how you interact with that person's decision, how you interact and respond to your own choices based on that person's decision. So, although it may influence the direction that you're going in or the choices that you have to make, it will never, ever take away your freedom of also choosing how you show up and respond to what's in front of you. I hope this helps someone, and I hope that this aligned and resonated with whoever needed to hear it. Again, cosmiccassie.com is my website. You can always get a personal reading there, but I just wanted to share this and hopefully ease the tension with someone making a rough decision. Thanks.